CSC is an amazing mixture of science and humanities. Our main research fields include production of new music, preservation and promotion of music and cultural heritage, human-computer interaction for people with special needs.
In 1965, Giovanni Battista De Biasi began a new research on digital voice synthesis in the time domain. In 1972, Giovanni De Poli discussed a master thesis on score encoding as an expansion of De Biasi's research on voice synthesis. Consonantico by Elvise Vidolin and Giovanni De Poli in 1975 was the first computer music composition of the CSC that would have been formally founded 4 years later. In 1979, the University of Padua founded a center as a joint collaboration among the Institute of Electrical Engineering, the CCEA and the Faculty of Engineering. Giovanni Battista De Biasi, Graziano Tisato, Giovanni De Poli and Elvise Vidolin were the founders. In the 1980s, our research was mainly oriented to make the computer a musical instrument and to develop real-time synthesis and processing systems for live electronic performance. In the 1990s, our new focus was on exploring expressiveness and performance. The goal was to overcome the rigidness that was typical of the early computer music. In the 2000s, the preservation of musical cultural heritage was another important new focus of our center, particularly for those art forms where technology had played an important role, such as electronic and computer music, and interactive and multimedia installations.
CSC is now one of the world's most important centers in this field.
Nowadays, the CSC hosts musicians, researchers and composers with an interest in experimenting with new technologies. CSC includes 3 laboratories: a laboratory for multimodal interaction for learning and well-being and computation and creativity, a laboratory for musical production, the Science for Musical Cultural Heritage Lab, and one small museum archive that witnesses the importance of this place. A PDP-11 computer with a 4i processor is one of the remarkable pieces there preserved. It was used by Elvise Vidolin in a live performance at the premiere of Prometeo, one of the most important works by Luigi Nono. Since 2021, we have moved to the new building inside the campus of the DIA.
From the very beginning, musical creation at the CSC has always been closely linked to teaching and technological scientific research. At the CSC, we have always considered music production at the same level as scientific research. So, we have always treated a composition as a publication or as a patent. Browsing through the catalogue of works produced with the contribution of the CSC, we find many of the major artists in the musical scene from the second half of the 20th century to the present day. Among these works are certainly Prometeo, La tragedia dell'ascolto by Luigi Nono, for vocal and instrumental soloists, choir, orchestra, live electronics and 4D system. Medea by Adriano Guarnieri in 3 parts for video sequences, soloists, choir, orchestra and live electronics, in which the sound direction becomes almost visual and the spatial sound seems to alternate between the close-ups and overviews. Giacomo mio salviamoci by Giorgio Battistelli, based on the text by Vittorio Sermonti, for voice teacher, orchestra and video scenery. Finito Illimitato, a project of sound and music processing lab of the Pollini Conservatory of Padua and the Department of Physics and Astronomy of the University of Padua. And Chemical Free by composer Nicola Sani, a multimedia work born from a synergy between musical world and scientific one. All our works have been performed in leading European festivals and theaters.
Our research deals with different fields, such as the preservation and enhancement of music cultural heritage, multimodal interaction for learning and well-being, computational creativity and acoustic analysis for workplace safety. We treat the sound document as if it were an ancient manuscript and try to collect and transfer in the digital domain as much information as possible. If the physical support is lost, then this information remains to help musicologists to study what is left. Our innovative methodology has already applied in international research projects funded by large archives like Archivio Luigi Nono, Centro Studi Luciano Berio, Paul Zacca Stiftung, Arena di Verona, Scuola Normale di Pisa, Teatro Regio di Parma. We enhance valorization of ancient and modern instruments using multimedia installations. They can be useful means to provide multisensory interaction with an artifact which is usually not touchable in a museum. An example is the pan flute preserved at the Museum of Archaeological Sciences and Art of the University of Padua. In the last years, applications based on large-scale responsive environments have risen up as an aid for learning simple as well as complex concepts in a playful way. The full-body interaction supports different learning styles and it's particularly fit for inclusion of people with disabilities, thanks to its richness in emotional engagement and its ease of use. We developed several digital games aimed at facilitating the learning of both musical and sensory motor skills. We are particularly interested in creative aspects related to composition, musical performance, and research on expressive musical performance. This allows us to understand what strategies performers have employed. Slow, fast, hard, soft. With choro, it is possible to vary even some of the expressiveness beyond the written notes. Currently, our visions are to facilitate the inclusion of people with special needs, to promote dialogue among different cultures and populations, and to stimulate technological transfer into the business world, thanks to our spin-off, Audinnova.
Number